So we have our real-time update set up, but we're not currently making any changes to the data in the entries table on Supabase from our app. So if I just add an entry, I'll add phone and -50, and then I'll change the name. This entry and the change we made was only added to our local entries array in our state. And if we refresh the browser, we see those changes are lost. So in this module, we'll allow the user to add, delete, and update entries directly on Supabase. And because we have our real-time listener set up here, then any changes that we make to the entries table on Supabase should be instantly reflected in our app. So let's allow the user to add an entry to Supabase first. So I'm going to jump to storeentries.js and scroll down to this add entry action. So currently when we type in a name and an amount at the bottom here and hit enter or click the plus button, an object with a name and an amount property are passed to this add entry action. And just to see what's being passed here, I'm just going to log out this add entry form and hit save. So let's open up the console and try to add an entry, phone and -50, hit enter. And we can see here a object with a name property and an amount property being passed to this add entry action. And we then create this new entry object, which takes this add entry form object with the name and the amount. And we add an ID property to it, and we generate that using Quasar's UID module. And we also add a paid property to the object and set it to false. And if an amount has not been provided, we just set that to 0, just to make sure we always have a number in our data. And then we just simply push this new entry object to the entries array ref in our state, and we then see it on the page. However, this entry is currently only being added locally to our local entries array ref, and if we reload the page, we see that entry disappear. So instead of pushing this new entry object to the local entries array ref in our state, let's instead create a new row in our entries table on Supabase. And once that row is added, because we have our real-time updates handled with this subscription, this will then add the entry to our local entries array, and we should see the new entry on the page. So let's jump back to the add entry action and comment out this line where we're pushing it to the local entries array. And instead, we're going to insert a new row on Supabase. Help me out with a quick like, comment, share, or subscribe. So let's jump to the Supabase API docs, which you can get to on the left here. And we'll click on our entries table. I'll stretch this out a bit. We want to insert a new row. So let's scroll down to insert rows. And it shows us how to insert a new row here. So let's click on copy and jump back to our entry store. Let's paste this example in here, fix the indentation. Because we're using await here, we need to make this add entry function async. So let's stick the word async here. So what's this going to do? It's going to grab our entries table once again. Well, this time it's going to fire this insert method, and it's going to insert a new row based on this object here and the properties and values that we specify. We already have the properties and values that we want to insert in this new entry object. So this is an object with an ID property, a name property, an amount property, and a paid property. So we can just select this object here and replace it with new entry. However, we no longer need to add this ID property because Supabase is going to automatically generate these IDs for us when we insert a new row. So let's remove this ID property and value from this object.assign. And since we're no longer using the UID module, let's remove that from our imports as well. Let's jump back down to add entry. Before we test the insert, let's make sure we're handling errors. So after this query, we can just do if error. Let's just log out the error message that's returned in the event of an error. To simulate an error, we can change this table name to a table that doesn't exist. So again, I'll add a Z here and click on save. Let's jump back to Moneyballs and see what happens when we try to add a new entry. So I'll add phone and minus 50. And for some reason, when we have an error on the insert method, we get an empty object with no message to display. I assume this is a bug that's going to be fixed. But for now, we can just show our own message. So let's remove this console log and use our composable, use show error message. Let's just add the message, could not add entry to Supabase. So let's save and refresh and make sure we can see that dialog. So phone and minus 50. Now we see the error message. So let's see if this insert works. Let's correct the table name. And I don't think we're going to need this data property in this case. So let's get rid of that and save and reload. I'll drag this over to the left. And on Supabase, let's jump back to our entries table. Let's once again try and add a new entry. So phone and minus 49 and hit enter. And if we click this little refresh button at the bottom of the table, we can see this new entry was added. We can see the name phone and the amount minus 49. And we also see the entry appear in our app because when this new row was added to Supabase, this on hook was triggered in our entry subscription, which returned this payload. And because the payload.event type was equal to insert, the data for the new entry was pushed to our local entries array ref. Before we move on, let's just remove this console log that we added and also remove this comment and save that. Get the full course, including authentication, row-level security and policies, database functions and triggers, storage, edge functions, and running Supabase locally from makeappsacademy.com or click the link in the description.